Hi, friends, and welcome back to Marvelous Friends, your home for all things Marvel Cinematic Universe and beyond. I'm Rhett, and today I'm going to be discussing the Ladies of S.H.I.E.L.D. Roll that credit. In honor of Natasha Romanov, the MCU's Black Widow, receiving her film finally early next year, I thought it'd be fun to talk about some of her fellow agents, specifically her fellow female agents. Since we've been introduced to S.H.I.E.L.D. in Iron Man, and then we received Natasha, our third known agent of the organization in Iron Man 2, we've gained quite a few number of agents. And that only grew even quicker once we were introduced to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, which has given us quite a few females that show some real strength, proving that they could just as well hold their own among the Avengers like Natasha does. And so, let's count them down and talk about my 10 favorite female operatives of S.H.I.E.L.D. Number 10, Anne Weaver. Now, Anne serves as the head and leader of the Institute for Science and Technology within S.H.I.E.L.D., providing leadership and guidance for all the future scientists that will fill the rank of S.H.I.E.L.D. someday. Now, this is a rather important role, and she has some significant tie ins to other characters that we know within the MCU, specifically Fitzsimmons, as she was their teacher back in the day when they were at the Institute. She is clearly smart, having given the option to run the school where the brightest minds in the world come to learn. So, that is something very strong in her favor. Plus, she is very calm, cool, and collected under pressure, as we see that she does kind of rise to a leadership role not only with the school, but also in the post Shield fall scenario when Hydra outs himself in the post Winter Soldier storylines of the show. However, we do learn that she doesn't really have much to offer as far as combat or undercover skills. She really is a brain over brawn type of character, which there's nothing wrong with that, but she just doesn't offer very much outside of that when it comes to her character and her role in S.H.I.E.L.D. In fact, we learned that she hid within the Institute itself during the events of Hydra's takeover, which doesn't really prove her, again, that well of a combat operative. So that's why she's landing at the bottom of the list. But, like I said, her intelligence definitely gets her on here. Number 9, Victoria Hand. Victoria's appearance within the MCU was short and held to basically within 1.5 seasons of the MCU's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. However, her presence was a strong one. She was a very strict and reasonable leader within the organization of S.H.I.E.L.D., being placed as the leader and director of the Hub, one of the largest bases of operations within the S.H.I.E.L.D. organization. Now, it's clear why she earned this title. She's a very good tactical leader, as we see her on various missions, kind of leading the helm of operations within that. And we see her being a very good, reasonable kind of tactical leader in the events following the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the rise of Hydra, as she manages to hold the hub from Hydra's takeover, and honestly saving quite a few S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in the process by her own work. That means she's pretty impressive. However, since the events of that episode where she holds the hub, she has been double crossed and killed, but her strength and power as a leader is much so to be respected even in her life after death. Number 8, Sharon Carter. She is there. She is very much so present, especially in the MCU films, having popped up in several of the Captain America franchises. She is a well connected agent with some very strong skills and clearly holds some level of leadership. However, we really don't see much of her in action. Yes, there's one or two scenes, but really and truly, it's nothing impressive, and she's been kind of relinquished to a third tier supportive character within her appearances. So hopefully, with her upcoming appearance in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we get a little bit more of a development for the character and really get to see her do her skills and prove that she's more than just the niece of the one and only Peggy Carter. I do like the character of Sharon Carter, and I hope we get to see more of Agent 13 in action in the future. But as of right now, she's just been a little lackluster in her appearances, and so she ends up a little bit further down on this list. Number 7, Elena Rodriguez. Elena is one of our newer Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming to her full force of the character within the last few seasons of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, being introduced in Season 3 and really becoming a major recurring character in Season 4. Now, she is an Inhuman going by the name of Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is able to move quickly at the speed of, well, it's kind of unmeasurable, but basically she can go as far as she can and return within a single heartbeat series, making her very handy. Plus, she comes from the very conflict ridden areas of Colombia, making her a tough and strong fighter who doesn't really take any bull from anyone, allowing her to be a useful hand to hand combat agent as well as a great sneak as she's able to quickly get in and out of anywhere she needs. Plus, her bilingual skills coming from South America makes her a great asset for the team as she's often seen translating for other members of her unit. Now, I will say this, it's a fun little fact. We did finally get to see her lose her arms and gain her cybernetic replacements that we see in the comic books. And Natalia, who plays the character in the show, has been asking about those cybernetic arms since she began playing the character back in season 3. I always love when actors do their research and get to know the character they're playing so they really can embody them well. Number 6, Jemma Simmons. One part of the super brain that is the two-man team on Coulson's unit within S.H.I.E.L.D., Fitz and Simmons. Simmons specializes in medicine, chemistry, and biological engineering, and has had several big achievements on the show, providing great technology breakthroughs, saving several other of her team members, including herself, from close call medical disasters, and has also provided some serious developments within the markings of inhuman DNA, and actually has kept on pace with the research being done on super soldier serum within the MCU shows. Now, that all is impressive, but she has also proved herself as a major asset as a field agent as well, having gone through extensive hand-to-hand combat and weapons training under the direction of Melinda May, who we will come to later. She has also seen herself transported through space via the obelisk and survived on a desert planet for several months, and she has also been undercover a time or two, proving herself as a really well-rounded agent. And adding in her smarts, that's really hard to deny what an asset she really is to S.H.I.E.L.D. Number 5, Daisy Johnson. Now, Daisy is also known by a few other names during her run on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., also being known as Sky and Quake. I did struggle quite a bit on where to place her because she's a huge central focus of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. However, I had to remove her powers to make it a little bit more of an even playing field with the other agents on this list, much like I did Yo-Yo. And when you remove her powers, she's just kind of an average agent, really all around. However, she has served in leadership roles, and she is a very skilled hacker, a skill that her team uses quite often in their missions. And even without her powers, her hand-to-hand combat isn't anything really to knock at. However, she does always seem to fall back and rely on her abilities. So I did have to put her more towards the middle of this list. My major issue with her is the fact that she has some allegiance issues. We've seen her break off from the team on multiple occasions to kind of follow her own interests. However, she does ultimately come back around in the end in each of those times. Number 4, Bobby Morse. Also known as Mockingbird, Bobby is a real agent not to be messed with within the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D., proving herself to be one tough fighter. And based upon hints in the show, I'm going to guess that she actually was at that Budapest mission that we know so little about, but we get mentioned constantly. Still want to know what happened there. Anyways, she carries her own signature weapons and really is a skilled hand to hand fighter and knows her weapons, as during a time in the show where she was injured and was reluctantly kind of put on a back burner, showed her skills in the lab as a weapons and ballistics expert, proving that she's more than just a strong right hook. And I also have to say that I really enjoy this character, and so that's also part of the reason why she's landing so high. However, her skills as an agent are undeniable. She's so good, in fact, while undercover with Hydra, she was able to raise through the ranks there as well, becoming a high level Hydra agent within their offices and operations. So, I mean, the girl's good. Number 3, Maria Hill. She is the director's number 2 and right hand within the MCU, and I would say she clearly has some skills, especially if you're looking at her references within the comic books. However, we really haven't seen all those skills come to fruition within the MCU's franchises. Yes, we've seen her in some hand-to-hand and some weapon handling combat. However, those are really few and far between, and we really only see her kind of falling around Fury within the movies, making her kind of a glorified personal assistant in a way, if I'm being honest. However, her rank and her standing within the organization cannot be denied, and that is why I ranked her so high on this list. Because being number 2 means that you kind of need some respect and clearly have done something to deserve that. I also will say that in the comics, she has served as director of S.H.I.E.L.D., and considering her position within the MCU, she could definitely be on that short list of potential candidates to do so. However, considering her relationship with Fury and Fury's current standing within S.H.I.E.L.D. and the two kind of being separate entities right now, I'm not really sure if that's ever going to happen. Plus, considering everything we just learned about her character in Far From Home, I'm really not sure what's next for her, so it's tough to say where she will go from here. Number two, Melinda May. The cavalry is here, and it's someone you do not want to cross if you're meddling in S.H.I.E.L.D. business. The name Cavalry is a nickname that she earned as her missions and her exploits within the S.H.I.E.L.D. ranks are legendary. However, she's not so fond on the name. However, it is just a matter of respect and idolizing her within the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D. as to why she is given this name, because she is a master spy at all levels, an expert pilot, a skilled hand to hand combat expert, and weapons handler. She is, of course, a great undercover agent as well, proving herself time and time again within the show. She's so good, in fact, she served as several of the other characters' SO and trained them within the aspects of combat, including Daisy and Jemma in the show's run. It's also considered and kind of hinted at that she potentially was the superior officer or SO for Maria Hill in the past as well. As when we've seen interactions between the two characters, Maria Hill really does hold Melinda to a level of respect as kind of an authority figure, even though I would say clearly she outranks her. And that is something to be said for as well. Plus, talking about Maria Hill, just as Maria Hill is Fury's number two, Melinda serves as Agent Coulson's right hand during his time as director. In fact, has taken over for him a time or two during the show's run whenever he needs to take a leave of absence, serving as temporary director. And Maria Hill hasn't even done that. So that is why she lands so high on this list. Honorable mention, Natasha Romanov. I ultimately decided not to put Natasha on this list because this is kind of paying homage to her. And I wanted to talk about and feature the other agents within S.H.I.E.L.D. that, could fight alongside her. And like I said, I'm pretty sure some of these have at some point. Such as Mockingbird, Melinda May, and of course Maria Hill have all definitely aligned with her at some point on a mission, I'm sure. But I still wanted to give her the credit she is due, as she is the only one of these to officially be an Avenger, and her fighting skills are none to be messed with. So she does land herself an honorable mention, of course, on this list, and I'm so excited for upcoming film. Number one, Peggy Carter. If you're going to be leaving Natasha off this list, there's really only one other person to put in this number one spot, and that is the original Lady of S.H.I.E.L.D. Peggy Carter was one of the founding members of the organization, and so that level of originality and kind of legacy needs to be respected in terms of a ranking list. Plus, she is a good agent. She's an excellent fighter. She's led multiple missions very successfully. She is excellent at undercover work, and yeah, she's just all around pretty much a BA if you're asking me. And like I said, when you consider the fact that she is the first and the original, it's really a matter of respect to give her this number one spot. Again, if you have not seen her show, The Agents of Carter run, it's only 2 seasons. It's a very easy watch. It's very enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I highly recommend it. I wish it had had a longer run, in my opinion. That's going to do it for this video, though, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did so, make sure to give it a like and share it. And if you haven't already, do check out my plot prediction for the upcoming Black Widow film. With all the new information that we've received recently, I still feel pretty strongly about my thoughts regarding what we're going to see within that film. Now, of course, we received a few more details, so some of the aspects regarding the characters that the people will be playing has been a little bit more clarified and all that. So, but like I said, the actual plot prediction itself, I still feel very strong about its accuracy. So you can check it out in the card, but first make sure you subscribe and set those alerts so you don't miss any of my future videos as well. Until then, though, I love you all 3,000. I hope you have a marvelous rest of your day. Bye, friend.